Hello dear student, today we are going to talk about a poem Basketful of Moonlight. Basketful of Moonlight. This is a beautiful poem that is added in the syllabus of 10th standard, and we are going to talk about the appreciation of this poem today. A Basketful of Moonlight. Before we talk about the appreciation of the poem, we must know the marking scheme or marking system of appreciation of the poem. Means how many marks are given to the appreciation of the poem. See that appreciation of the poem, for this question students are given, or this question is given 5 total marks. Total 5 marks are given to this point, appreciation of the poem. Now there are 5 points that we have to discuss, and how to write them, it should be known by us. See that the first point, the title of the poem. The title of the poem. For this point, half mark is given. Half mark is given for this point. And how to write this point, we will discuss later. Means after getting the information about the marking scheme, we will talk about the points and their details. Okay, the title of the poem, for this point half mark is given. Then the second point is that the poet of the poem. The poet of the poem means we must know the name of the poet. Already the name of the poet and the title of the poem is given on the question paper. Just we have to find out that, read out that and note down in the answer sheet. Okay, means the second point, that is very easy to be written. The title of the poem, for this point half mark is given. Now the next point, rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme. This point is little bit harder to be understood by the students, because we must know what is rhyme scheme, and this point will be also discussed after some time. Okay, then the fourth point is that figure of speech. For this point 1 mark is given. Means first point is given half mark, second one is the same, that is half mark, third one, that is rhyme scheme, for this point 1 mark is given. Then fourth point, figure of speech, for this point also 1 mark is given. And the last point, that is very important, because if we want to write this point, we must know the theme and the central idea of the poem. Means we must understand the meaning of the poem, we must know the theme of the poem. And today we are going to discuss on a specific poem, that is Basketful of Moonlight. While discussing on this poem, we will get to know how to write these points or how to explain these points. Okay, means in this way, fifth point, that is the theme or the central idea, for this point 2 mark is given. Means total 5 marks. Total 5 marks are given to this question, that is the appreciation of the poem. Okay, now look at the poem Basketful of Moonlight. Suppose this poem has been learned by us, means we have gone through this poem, and this is time to write the appreciation of the poem. Means one by one point will be taken and will be discussed and explained for the comprehension of the students, for the comprehension of you, and no question and no problem will be in the mind at the end of this video. Okay, see that the first point is that the title of the poem. The title of the poem. Try to understand one thing, that already the poem is given on the question paper. Means along with the poem there is the name of the poem also. Means the title of the poem is already given on the question paper. Along with that, the name of the poet is also given below the poem. Means to give the answer of this question is not hard work. It is not hard to give the title of the poem there. Means because already the title is given there, poem is given there, and the name of the poet is also given there. Means just we have to read that and note down there. But every point should be written down in a full sentence. It's very important for us. Okay, see that the title of the poem, how it can be explained. Means we can say that the title of the poem is the Basketful basket full of moonlight, or we can say that the basket full of moonlight is the title of the poem. Means basket full of moonlight is the name of the poem, is the title of the poem, or the title of the poem or the name of the poem is basket full of moonlight. Means in this way we can write down the answer there. Means we can explain this point like this. Means first point is not hard to be written, because once again I am going to repeat that already the answer of the question, the answer of the point is given on the question paper. Just we have to read that, just we have to pick out the title and note down into the answer sheet. And for this point we are given half mark. Means it is very easy for us. Now the second point is that the poet of the poem, the poet of the poem. This point is explained by many types of sentences like this. We can say that this poem is composed by Sunil Sharma. Sunil Sharma is the name of the poet of this poem. Means there may be there should be many of the options to give the answer of this question. You can say that this poem is composed by Sunil Sharma. In another words or in another sentence, we can say that this poem is written by Sunil Sharma, or we can say that the poet of this poem is Sunil Sharma. And moreover, we can say that this poem is written by Sunil Sharma, or Sunil Sharma wrote this poem, or Sunil Sharma composes this poem. Means there are various types of options to give the answer of this point. There are many ways. With the help of these ways we can give the answer of this point. Means this point is also very easy to be answered, to be written on the question paper, on the answer sheet. And for this point we are given half mark. Why we are given half mark? Because the answer is already given on the question paper. Means it is easy, because the level of this question is easier in comparison with the other points, therefore the half marks is given. Now the next point is the rhyme scheme. This point is a little bit harder, because we know the rhyming words but we don't know how to write the rhyme schemes. Means many of the times I had tried to explain that how to pick up the rhyming scheme. Means with the help of the rhyming words we can say we can identify the rhyme scheme of the poem. Okay, it will be discussed later. And while talking about this poem, Basket Full of Moonlight, there is a rhyme scheme, and the rhyme scheme is that there is not a rhyme scheme in this poem. You know why? Because this poem is composed in free verse. Means whenever there are no rhyming words, there are not rhyming words in the poem used by the poet, at that time we can say that this poem is composed in free verse. Free verse is a type of composing poems, of writing poems. Okay, means there is no specific rhyme scheme. There are no specific stanzas also. Therefore we can say that there is not a specific rhyme scheme or particular rhyme scheme that we can say here. Means this poem is composed in free verse. Okay, you might have understood what I am going to say, or what I have said now. Means there is no rhyme scheme in this poem and it is written in free verse. We can explain this point like this. Means third point should be given answer like this, or the answer to the third point should be written like this. There is no rhyme scheme in this poem. There is no rhyme scheme in this poem. It is composed in free verse. Okay, it's very easy. Okay, means whenever there are no rhyming words, there are no rhyming words found in the poem, that time we can say that it is written in free verse, or it is composed in free verse, or this poem is free verse. Okay, means third point has been discussed now. If you have any type of problem concerning with these 3 points or the remaining points that are going to be discussed now, you can put your question in the comment box. I will try to give the reply there. Now the next question, next point is that figure of speech. Figure of speech. We know that what is figure of speech. To make the poetry very beautiful or more beautiful, many of the poets use figure of speech in their poetry, or to make the language ornamental, or more beautiful for the readers, for the audience, for the lovers of the poetry. Many of the poets use figure of speech in their poem. While talking about this specific poem, that is Basketful of Moonlight, we can say that the poet, namely Sunil Sharma, he uses here alliteration in this poem. Alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration is a kind of a figure of speech. But what is alliteration? How to identify that there is alliteration in this line? We can say that before explain this point, I want to say that I want to tell you the example that has been found in this poem, and that example is of alliteration. And that example is that I want to sow seeds of moon. I want to sow seeds of moon. Once again, I am going to read this line. I want to sow seeds of moon. Now, try to understand, or try to look at this line. I want to sow seeds. Sow seeds. Here, there are two words in this line, and the beginning sound of these two words is same. Means whenever the beginning sound of two words or more than two words is similar, that time we can say that there is alliteration in this poem. Means we cannot say that there is same alphabet. There is same alphabet before the two words or more than two words. Means alphabet is not important here. Means the same alphabet doesn't matter here, but the same sound matters here. Means while identifying or while telling that there is alliteration in this line, the beginning sound of the words are very important. Okay, therefore the perfect example that has been picked up from this poem, that example is that I want to sow the seeds of life. I want to sow the seeds of moon. This line that has been taken from this poem, and we can say that there is alliteration in this poem because sow seeds means the beginning sound of these two words is same. Okay, and the second, see that while giving the answer to this point, only one figure of speech should be written there. Along with that, the example related to that figure of speech should be mentioned there. Only then and there we will get 1 mark. Means for the rhyme scheme we will be given 1 mark, and for the figure of speech also we will be given 1 mark. But according to me, or I think that there should be the example of that figure of speech. Means some of the students write there the name of the figure of speech only, but the examiner who is going to check your paper, he or she should not be confused while giving the point to this point, or while giving the marks to this point. You know why? Because if you write the name of the figure of speech there, that time example, suppose that time example is not mentioned there, means it is not easy for the examiner to understand that you have understood this point. Okay, you might have got what I have said now. Means along with the name of the figure of speech, there should be the example, perfect example, specific example related to that figure of speech that should be taken from that poem, and you have to write down there. Means the name of the figure of speech along with the example. For these two things we will be given 1 point. Okay, now the next figure of speech, I am going to say that I am going to add the next figure of speech that is found in this poem, that apostrophe. Apostrophe is the next or the another figure of speech that is found in this poem. What is apostrophe? Apostrophe is a type of figure of speech. But apostrophe, the definition of apostrophe as a figure of speech, we can say that whenever the object that is being addressed in the poem is not present. The object or the thing or the person or something that is not present in the poem, but even then the poet is addressing that thing. Example that is mentioned in this poem, or that is found in this poem. The example is that, "O moon, give me moonlight." "O moon, give me moonlight" means in this poem the child is addressing, means the poet in the form of the child is addressing to the moon, and we know that the moon is not present in the poem, or in reality moon is not present in front of that child. Means that time we can say that there is apostrophe. Means whenever the objects or the things being addressed in the poem are not present, that time we can say that there is apostrophe. See that many times we can say that, "Oh God, please help me. Oh God, please help me." But in reality there is no God present in front of us, but we address to the God, and that God is not present before us. Therefore we can say that there is apostrophe in this point. Okay, you must have got this point, I am sure that. Then the last point and the next point, that is very important, because this point 2 marks are given. Okay, 2 marks are given to this point. That is the theme or the central idea of the poem. The theme and the central idea of the poem. Okay, if you go through this poem, Basketful of Moonlight, that is composed by Sunil Sharma, we can say that, what we can say that, or what may be the theme or the subject or the main object of this poem, that we can say that the child wants to light up. The child wants to light up his village. The child wants to light up his village road leading to the city. Means that child wants to light up the road from his village to the city, because many of the people from the village goes to the city for the work, and the return when the night is when the darkness falls down. Means whenever there is darkness, or at the time of night, many of the people return from the city to the village, and there is no light. Means the child wants to light up that road from the village to the city, because he is very kind-hearted person. Means that child is very kind-hearted. He wants to take care of the villagers. Means we can say that the child wants to light up his village road by using moonlight. Therefore he is addressing to the moon that, "I want to get your moonlight. I want to show that beside the road, so that the villagers or my relatives, my father, will go to the city and return in the when the darkness is there." Okay, then we can say that it seems to be caring and loving villagers and his fathers also. Means he thinks that my fathers always returns whenever there is night, and at the night time many of the creatures may be wandering on the road and therefore that child is taking care of his father as well as his villagers. And to make the road shiny, or to make the road lighted up, he requests the moon to provide some moonlights, so that the child will show these moonlights beside the roads. Okay, in another words we can say that the child wishes to make road to the city from village get lighted up with the moonlight, so that the traveling will be.
अशाच प्रकारचे महत्त्वपूर्ण उपयुक्त नवनवीन व्हिडिओ पाहण्यासाठी या चॅनलला सबस्क्राइब करा आणि बाजूच्या बेल आयकॉनला क्लिक करा. To watch such a type of useful videos, please subscribe this channel and press the bell icon so that you will never miss an update. And the name of our channel is AK Plus Universe of Learners.
In this way, I have tried my best to explain this question, appreciation of the poem. And once again, I am going to repeat some points, some important points. There are 5 points. For the first point, that is the title of the poem. For the first point is given half marks, and the second point, that is the poet of the poem, half marks once again is given there. Third point is the rhyme scheme. For the rhyme scheme, 1 point is given, and fourth point is the figure of speech. For this point, 1 mark is given, and the last point, that is very important while writing the appreciation of the poem, that is the theme and the central idea of this poem. For this point, 2 marks are given. Okay, in this way, I have tried my best to explain these points. Okay, even then, if you have any type of problem or any type of questions concerning with this question, you can write down your problems or issues in the comment box. Whenever I will reach there, I will try to give the reply.
अशाच प्रकारचे नवनवीन व्हिडिओ पाहण्यासाठी चॅनलला सबस्क्राईब करा आणि बाजूच्या बेल आयकॉनला क्लिक करा. Please subscribe this channel for more updates.
So in the next video we will meet with a new topic. Till then, take care of yourself, take care of your parents, and make your atmosphere of your home healthier. Thanks for watching.